Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your wow, it's been a long week. If it's your first time here, push the subscribe button. Definitely appreciate you here. Take a look around, get in touch with the members. If you want to get notifications for when we go live, tap the bell and join our free options trading group. The link is below for that, along with our Discord. Getting things popping here. Was talking to a bunch of people here pre-stream. We got Easy up in here. Nice to see you. And Ray Lee. Always good to see you. Linda, Richard. Easy and Richard, thank you so much for the donations before the stream started. Easy dropped the $5 and Richard dropped the bag $50, man. Thank you. That's what's going on. If you're here right now, say what up. Callum, what's going on? Vitality, Karan, what's going on? Callum made some $465, man. A lot of people made money today. A lot of people lost money today, and you know, I'm okay. I'm okay with losing, kind of like what the title is. Like, I'm okay with losing as long as I learn and adapt. You know, when I lose big, usually when I lose big, like this week was one of my biggest losing weeks in a long time. Usually, what happens is I'm on the cusp of some really big gains. Usually, not saying that's going to happen, but usually. Jack, what's going on? Drupko, what's up? Jeff, JDM, my man, what's going on? Linda made some bank today too. Linda made like what, $1,200, $1,400 today. Nice. Garrett, what's going on? If you're here now, say what up. Definitely learned some lessons. For me, you know, just waiting for more people to get in here before we go over it. But we're gonna go over my trades. We're gonna be going over how I did today. We'll be going over what I plan to do this weekend, and you're probably going to hear me rant a little bit, but not really rant, more talk about, it's been a long time since I lost this much money, and so I don't really get to talk about it that much. So I'll be talking a lot about, you know, what I plan to do to turn things around. Like what happens a lot of times is people take a loss, and they don't change, they don't adapt, they just keep rolling in the losses until your account gets zero. Like, nobody wants that. So I'm gonna share with you guys what I do. Tom, what's going on? T5, what's up? Manny, Brent Lee, Mark, what's going on? Yeah, next week, yeah, Ray Lee, next week we have the tech earnings. T5 got paid today. Yeah, so far this week, I only had one green day, which was on Tuesday. So if you only have one green day per week, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. Missed my opportunity to visit Intel, but recoup some losses with Iron Condor and Spy. Nice. Tim, what's going on? Man, it's getting crowded up in here. Tobin. Oh, and I did not talk about the hat yet. So I'm rocking. I'm rocking my Cubs champions hat on a week like today, mainly because no matter the Cubs hat, besides this game, it's kind of motivational for me. No matter how bad things get, you'll be a winning player someday. You'll win again if you have what it takes. If you have what it takes, it's inspirational. The underdogs are winners. More plugs. Baba burnt me. BAC strangle. Yeah, Brent. I had a Bank of America strangle on as well that I bag held for 2 weeks that turned to zero. so don't tell me about Bank of America. I know exactly what you've been through. And I'm gonna go over. So today we lost 172 per account. So today was like a $600 losing day. Amen, what's going on? It was like a $600 losing day, and this week down about 2K. And you'd be like, man, that's incredible. That's terrible. That's awful. And like, why aren't you more upset? Why aren't you this? Why aren't you that? And at the end of the day, like, $2 grand, yes, $2 grand is nothing to sneeze at. $2 grand's a lot of money. But in the big scheme of things, if you look over the year or the past couple of years, $2 grand really isn't that much compared to the account sizes and what we need to do here. You know, nobody wants to lose $2 grand. Everyone would want to rather make $2 grand than lose $2 grand. But I would say this was my biggest losing week since maybe July last summer. So it's been a long time. So that's why I say, like, I don't get to talk about this. I don't get to talk about this very often, because not to sound like cocky or arrogant or anything, but it's been a long time, and a lot of people are here, and sometimes you need the reminder. Sometimes you need to, maybe sometimes the market is telling you to stop. Like when you lose money like this, the market is telling you to stop. Hold on, what you're doing is something wrong. The trades that you're putting on aren't working. Why is that? It's not because of the market. You can't blame the market. The only person you can blame here is yourself. I'm not mad at the market. I'm not mad at politicians. I'm not mad at certain companies. I'm not mad at analysts. I'm not mad at anyone. Like, honestly, losing money this week, I don't feel anything. I don't feel good. I don't feel bad. I mean, it's not good to lose that much money, but in the big scheme of things, when you're in business, you make money, you lose money. That's the nature of business. When you run your accounts like a business, you know, some months are better than others in the market, just like in business. Like when you own a business, some months you may make 10, 20, 50 grand, and then some months you may not make anything. Maybe some months you might be break even. Maybe some months you lose some money. Maybe, you know, it's just business. It's just business, and you can't get mad when you're on the losing side, because that's how you start making mistakes. And then the other thing is when you start losing money and you're in a position of losing money, what happens, a lot of people try to make that money back, but the opportunity may not be there. So then when you start getting more aggressive with trades, trying to make money back, you start snowballing the losses, basically, because you say, okay, well, I lost $1,000 today, I can make $1,000 tomorrow, I should make $2,000 tomorrow, and then you start getting too big and out of control, and then you just have more losses. So, you know, at the end of the day, no, it's not good. But in the big scheme of things, it's not a big deal. But what we're gonna do is, because we had such a red week, we can't continue on making the same trades. We cannot do that. You cannot do that. Like, you can't just keep going. Nano, what's going on? Baron, what's up? I hope you all right, Tim. Oh man. So I mean, like, yeah, when you're in a losing position, when you've lost for a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I mean, some people have lost for months in a row. Luckily, we're not in that position. But you know, what you don't want to have happen is to red weeks to become red months, become red years. Like, that's what you don't want to do. So like, when you know, you can handle a red day or a couple red days, you know, that's fine. But you don't want it to become like a trend. Obviously, you don't want to be, you know, sometimes you can't escape being a red day. Maybe sometimes, you know, having a red week, you know, that's not good, and then having a red month is bad, because then you're starting to get into like a slump. You don't want to get into a slump and then you have a bad month the next month and then another bad month. Like, that's not, you don't want to do that. Yeah, revenge trading. Yeah, like that's why I tell people is, like, even though when I lose money or when I make money, when I make $1,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 or whatever the case is, I literally don't feel anything, and that's part of the trading. Like, to be a successful trader, you have to not be able to feel anything. It may sound kind of weird. It's like, you know, why would you want that? Is because emotion, as a lot of you guys know, emotion destroys your positions. Emotions destroys everything. If you're a very emotional person, you have to figure out how to kind of curb those things or trade safely to keep your emotions in check. You know, what happens a lot of times when people get anxious or greedy, or, you know, one, they may be trading too big per their account size. Like, if you're trading like 80-90% of your account every time, I mean, you're gonna be on edge. At any minute, you could lose 80 to 90% of your account. Amen. Thank you for the $10, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you, man. You guys are showing out the love today. Carmine, no worries, Carmine. We're just chilling. Glad you're here. You know, so what I'm going to do, I'll go over my trades here in a second. You know, profitable trading should be boring. Yeah, I mean, like, for the last few months, I've been kind of in a routine where I've mostly been swing trading, and yes, the profits have been boring. There hasn't been a lot of emotion. There hasn't been a lot of, because, you know, as you guys know, the people that have watched this channel for a while know that I don't do like lotto plays that are big risk. Like, I don't put like $1,000 on the GE5 puts or something crazy like that. You know, I don't do those type of trades. Like, I look for consistency. And this week I definitely broke some of my rules this week. This week I didn't take profits. I didn't redeploy, you know, and that shows. That reflects it. You know, I didn't play defense as much as I wanted to. You know, and it reflects it. It reflects it. Routine, so to speak, yeah, with little emotional swing. Yeah, I mean, if you want to make money in the markets, you have to understand that trading emotional or doing anything emotional, like if you're driving emotionally, if you're in the car right now and you're driving emotionally, let's say you're really angry, chances are you're going to be driving faster, a little bit more reckless, maybe you'll blow a stop sign or two than you want to. And then the same with trading. Like, if you're kind of powered up and angry and you're doing what you're doing, you might make some bad trades. You might put on trades that you wouldn't normally put on if you were calm and just chill, you know. Put some incense on your desk and burn it. You know, just try to relax. You know, a lot of fake news affected profits. Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, like, you can't blame. You know, when you're trading in the market, you have to automatically assume at any point in time anything can happen. You know, like, we could wake up tomorrow, like on Monday, and I'm not saying this happened, but like Trump's arrested and the market's like haywire. Like, you have to understand, like, when you put a trade on, you have to understand that you're putting on risk. You're saying, I'm willing to take the risk for this trade to work out. And at the end of the day, anything could happen. Like, we could say, you know, we could go to war with China over the weekend, and the markets are going to get obliterated. And maybe that's good for some people's positions. If you're short, if you're long, you're going to be pissed off. But you know, you have to understand that when you trade in the markets, as a retail investor, we have no sway, we have no pull. Like, we have no impact on the market in a meaningful way, you know, and like news and all that thing. Like, we can't call up our buddy over, Jeff Bezos over at Amazon, and say, yo, you know, I'm really struggling on my Amazon position, drop that new product. You know, we can't do that. We don't have that kind of pull, you know? And as a retail investor, you have to understand the risk that you put on when you trade. Would Strangles be the best majority of the time? Brent, it really, for Strangles, it really depends. You have to get good option pricing. The option pricing has to be, it has to go beyond the expected move. Tobin, I know what you're doing. I see you. So let's get to a couple of the trades here. Let's get on to a couple of mistakes I made today. So I didn't do a whole lot of trades today, but I will go over first, starting with PCG, right? PCG, I did call it out on Discord when I put it on. I said, hey, I'm just gonna do a day trade on PCG, right? Ferris, I think Ferris is FC. Did you change your name, bro, or you just use it? You got different accounts for everything? If you don't get good pricing, you don't get profit. Yeah, but you know, FC, Brent, and Ray Lee, it's the same thing for any position. Whether it's a strangle, an iron condor, a vertical put spread, just buying options outright, like you have to get good pricing regardless. So, you know, if you're new to options trading, options pricing, understanding option pricing is gonna make or break your account. Buzz, what up? Yeah, I traded PCG. So I traded PCG today. I was looking for a quick day trade. I bought the 12 put, and what I was looking here at the 12 put, I bought it for 57 cents. And obviously, you know, if you're trading PCG, a lot of people made money yesterday when the calls were going up. You know, going over their long-term chart. I mean, looks terrible. Companies basically going bankrupt. But anyways, they got cleared. They got cleared yesterday for some sort of, you know, their equipment wasn't using the wildfires or something like that. Doesn't really matter. But what matters is the price action. So it went up. Even though it went up, I mean, the chart still looks really bad, right? The chart looks pretty bad. I mean, it went from in the last couple of months went from 49 down to $5. You know, and that's not a good sign for any company. So what I was trading here this morning, I put a trade on. It looked like it was going to be in descending pattern. We had this huge gap up. It was kind of struggling after hours, but not a big deal. But let's focus in on the pricing today, right? So I said this is where I broke one of my rules today. I said this is going to be a quick day trade. I'm trading today's expiration, which is risky, so it had to be a day trade, and you know, I was looking for it to go sub 12, which it did. So I had the 12 put, looking for it to go 12, sub 12. I was actually up like 20 bucks on it per account, so 20 bucks. So I was up. Let's see, 10, 20. I was up. I paid what? 57 cents. So I was up. This is where I broke my rule, and this is where I got in trouble. So I put it on for 57 cents. Let me just show you guys that. So I put this trade on for 57 cents. Let me actually just clear this up here a little bit for you guys so you can see it better. I put it on for 57 cents, and I close it out for 10 cents, and you're like, that's terrible. And I do agree. And this is why I say take profits, redeploy capital. Even though I was up 40%, even though I was up like 30-40%, I didn't take the money, and it was terrible. You know, if you're looking here, we did go sub 12 early in the day, but we kept fluctuating. I mean, these are some crazy bars here. It was I thought we were going to keep downtrending, and we were. Like, we kept making lower highs, as you can see here, and then right at 12 here in the afternoon, we got a surge up 60 cents. Obviously, it didn't stick, but when you're day trading something, I should have took the money when it was down in here when it broke to like 11.70. But I thought that we were going to maybe hit like the 11s. You know, so my mistake was that I didn't set a reasonable goal, and I didn't take profits and redeploy. I instead took a loss and then I redeployed, which, as you guys know, is something that I'm against, but I did it anyway here. But this is a good example to show you this is what happens when you break the rules. So I then sold it. I bought it back, or I sold it for 10 cents. So I lost $47 on that per account today. And at the close here, I have actually the option pricing here. It started to sell off. I sold this. I'll give you the time. I sold this literally at 2:52. So there was 8 minutes left into the close, and it looked like I was going to be in the money. And you're like, why are you losing money if you're in the money? Why are you losing money if you're in the money? Because if you know, like theta, if you're like right at the money, if you're in the money or right at the money, or like, you know, you're like one strike out, theta is going to chop that up because the probability of you going in the money isn't good. Even though in this case it did, but I also didn't want to get in the money and then assign short stock and, you know, have to deal with that. So I took the position off. But look at the option pricing down here. This screen down here is the put that I had. I had the 12 put for today. As you can see, when I bought it, it went from, when I had it, it was like, I bought it for 57. It went up to 80, which I should have sold. Like when I went up to like 75, 80, definitely should have sold it. And then it just decreased all day. So even though the stock price didn't change because it was expiring today, you can see that theta really just chopped that up. And as you can see, it was decreasing all day. But at the end of the day, it dropped to like 5 cents when it was up. When it was up here at like 12.60, dropped to 5 cents. And then within a few minutes, we had some big red candles. It went from 5 cents literally to 20 cents. Then it came back to 10 cents. I sold because I'm like, well, now we're sitting like right here. It's like $11.99, $12, $12.01. And it was moving really slow all day. So then we got the final red candle. So right after I sold, a couple of minutes later, we had this final red candle went from 12 all the way down to 11.51. As you can see here, spiked from like 10 cents to the lows here, all the way up to 50 cents. So I could have held on for a couple more minutes, but at the same time, you have to adjust your risk. So what I did was I then bought, because I still believed in this trade. I still believe it was going to fall. Next week will definitely be a lot more careful with it. I bought the 11 put for next week at what did I get a fill on that? I got a fill at $1.10. I got $1.10, and they were going for what? These guys were going. They're going between $1.10 and $1.20. There's some decent volume on it. So we lost $47, but because I still believe in the trade, I definitely think that we'll be making this one back. Hopefully, we can start next week off, on a green week. I definitely think we're going to come back down to like 10, maybe even 9. Who knows? Maybe. I mean, if they're going bankrupt, this is going to like. If PCG goes bankrupt, I mean, this stock's going to be worthless. So. But as you guys can see there, because I broke my rule on that trade, it cost me $47. I lost 70%, 80% of the money on that trade. Mr. Afi, sorry if I mispronounced that. Mike had a bad week too. Really should have cashed out. Looking forward to trying out Tastyworks. Yeah, come join us, Mike. Come join us with Tastyworks. You'll have a great time. Rock and roll Dina red every day this week after being green every day last week. Yeah, I mean that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes sometimes. AMD ate all the puts from our UVH fan. Yeah, AMD. The other thing is, let's talk about. That was really the only trade I did today. I know I had some other trades in here, but really what it was on. I'm not gonna cover them too much in detail. Cat and Microsoft, I closed out my calls because we had a pretty big gap up on Microsoft and Cat. I still lost on those positions. We're down like 2K this week, but we had a gap up on Microsoft. I sold just to get. I mean, these are expiring today, so when you're in a winning position on some of these like calls or puts or whatever the case is, and you're in a winning position and it's expiration Friday, you got to cut it. Take the money in the account and redeploy it. Even if you're in a losing position, like I could have made more money on Microsoft when it went up to like 107.88, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at how much more money we would have made. Actually, let's go to Microsoft. I had the 107 calls. I had a strangle on it, but let's go with I mean, at close. Like you don't want to mess around with expiration Friday too much when things are expiring. Yeah, Alex, it happens. It happens. But we'll be back on it. Okay, so I sold these. So this is why you don't want to mess around with expiration Friday too much. I sold Microsoft like 40 cents here, and as you can see throughout the day, it did spike up to 90 cents. I could have made 90 cents on this, but you gotta be careful. Even though it expired in the money, even though it was increasing, it was worth only 14 cents. When I sold the position I sold it at 9:05 in the morning, so right in here, it was like 107 something. It was, so I sold it right in here when it was 40 cents. So as you can see, it was like 40 cents right in here, and then it went up to like 90. Sure, but if you're concentrating on the stock price, this is why you got to be careful. If you don't understand the Greeks, you got to focus on them, because even though the stock literally closed the same price that I closed my position at, these are now only worth 14 cents at close, and I sold it for 40 cents. So that's why it does not pay to wait on expiration Friday. So a little quick lesson there on option pricing. Intel Pay Me Today bought the nice. Yeah, I know some people made some money on Intel. Some people made some money on Intel. Some people made some money on AMD. A lot of people also lost money today. Me being me being one of them. Ooh, drinking some water. Now, if we're going into, so the main the main reason why this month has been kind of rough with me, because I've always, so far in January, I've been skewing everything on the bearish side. So I've always left the day with negative delta. And you're like, hey, Nick, why do you do that? Even like last couple weeks, I had bearish strangles on, but the call sides paid out, and I was just like breaking even basically. And I kept thinking that this run was a little exaggerated, but we're staying above 2,600. We're now at like 2,664. You know, we're 2,600. We bounced before until we broke through. You know, when you have a chart like this, you gotta be very careful. And I think the major mistake that I made is not focusing on the numbers. I was mainly focusing on what's to come. So instead of focusing on what the price action is doing right now, I was focusing on, okay, well, the government was still shut down. Earnings have been kind of mixed. None of them were that good. I mean, Intel is down. Most of the banks didn't report good earnings. I mean, Bank of America and Goldman Sachs reported good earnings. You know, overall, like in the back of my mind, all the catalysts are more bearish than they are bullish. Like what would cause us to go back up to 2,900? And in my mind, there's not a whole lot, right? Unless you guys wanted to enlighten me. But at the same time, you have to remember that the stock market's going to do whatever it wants to do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I believe. It doesn't matter where I think the market's going to go. The price is the price. You got to focus on the price. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I think the market's going to go down next week, if the market goes up next week. It doesn't matter if I think there's a lot of negative catalysts when the market will still go up. You know, so what really matters is the price on the screen. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's no top, there's no bottom. It just, the market's going to do what it wants to do. And you're like, well, the market's screwing me right now. The market's doing this. It's gone up every single day for how long? Yes, we had a couple red days in here and I made a little bit of money, but nothing compared to where my portfolio was bearishly skewed, right? So how do you trade like that? And what I'm planning on doing, I know this is kind of a rant, so I'm going to go through this weekend. I'm going to go through every single trade that I made in January and see where I made the most money and where I lost money, and focus on the winners. Like when you're in a losing position, like let's say, you know, now because of this week, my January is red so far, unless we turn things around next week. But I don't want to force things to try to get green. I just want to trade safely and appropriately. I don't want to just start taking positions on to try to break even. You know, if we have a red January, we have a red January. It's okay. You know, it is what it is. But what I do when I lose like this, I'm gonna go through this weekend every single trade I did in January, focus on my winners, focus on what I lost in, and see why I made money on those trades. And there was a lot of trades I made money on. I made money on Netflix. I made great money on Goldman Sachs this month. I made great money on Alibaba. There were a lot of great trades, but it doesn't matter if you have great trades if you have more losers. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of trade. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to look at my trades, see which trades I won on, I made money on, what were the circumstances, why did I make money on that? And I have a feeling the reason the most times I made money, I was trading pre-earnings and after earnings. Everything in between that, I have not been hitting my targets. So I'm going to probably focus, you know, I have a hunch. So probably next week I'm going to be focusing on trading before earnings and after earnings instead of trying to trade other stocks. So I'm just going to focus on that. Obviously, I'll confirm that on my Monday stream when I live stream on Monday. But I'm going to go through this weekend every single trade and focus on my winners, focus on what I lost on, and figure out, you know, when you lose like this, you have to adapt. You can't just keep doing it. If I do the same trades, the same trading style I did this week, why would I expect to make money next week? You know, why would I expect things to change? Like if you do the same thing day in, day out. It's kind of like people tell me all the time, like, I want to quit my job, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. But every day you wake up at 5 a.m., you go to the job every day, and nothing changes. Like, if you never change, what's gonna, like, why would you expect things to change? If you get up and go to work every day and do the same thing, you get up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to sleep. Do that every single day instead of getting up early, going to work, coming home, eating dinner, and then staying up for a couple more hours at night and working on your side business, and then you can change your life. But if you get up and do the same thing every day, so why would trading be different? You know. I love the rants. Morgan Stanley's cut Snap down. Not surprised. Markets are liquid and efficient. Market already has a destination in mind. Traders are just trying to stay one step ahead. Yeah. I mean, the market also kind of the market kind of brainwashed you in this. Like, if you have a lot of down days, you buy the dip. When you had a lot of up days, you short the rips, right? And it was pretty easy. It was pretty easy to make money in this. And then it started to mess with people's minds when we just kept going down, down, down every day. People kept buying down. We kept going down because back in here, when you bought the dip, you made money. But in here, when you bought the dip, you lost every day. And same thing with here. Like, if you short the rip, you lose money. You're going to keep losing money. And right now, because I was short, I kept losing money over the last couple of weeks. So, back in here, it was pretty easy because you have a nice two-sided market. You have nice, but when the market gets one-sided, it gets a lot tougher. You could say, well, why don't you just get on one side? Which you could, sure. Yes, you could definitely, but you can't always tell the future. Like, what happens if you switch to long right here and then we go back down to like 2,300 next week? You can't say that's not going to happen. That's something you got to think about. And yes, you're going to have to trade with your protections in place. So, Sergio, what's up? Lost today. Yeah, sorry, you didn't miss much. Just me ranting. But hopefully I provide some insight on when I lose, on how I get back to the green, because you could either just take it and keep losing, or you can adapt and change your mindset, change your strategy, and keep on moving. This week, buy the dip, average down would have worked all the time. Yeah, buy the dip. We had actually a couple red days here. Could have bought the dip, could have made money. FC, just realized I was hearing about other email. Yeah, it doesn't. I got you. I knew who you were, FC. Got you clocked in. I follow Fang to have an idea. Yeah, I mean, even stocks like look at Facebook this week. Facebook was nuts. Like they had. I mean, this was crazy. It went from 146 up to 152, hit a low of 142. If you look at this dip yesterday, because they had there was like some report that came out. But the thing is, like on Facebook, when you see something like this, it went from 146 down to 143. You don't want to be the first person to catch the knife. You don't want to buy the dip, because what if it goes? Anybody that's trading Facebook knows that this is definitely a descending pattern here. However, it's on the verge of possibly breaking out, maybe recovering. But I feel like Facebook's earnings, they better be freaking good. Facebook's earnings, they're going to be definitely in big trouble if they don't make money. Well, they'll make money. It just depends if Wall Street's happy with how many people they sign up. Sergio, man, I appreciate you. Thanks for saying that. Any thoughts on Walmart? So let's go to Walmart. So Walmart was down today. I don't know why. I haven't traded Walmart in a while, but they've been looking like they've been following the market with the down moves and the up moves. Let's see if. Yeah, I mean, puts are up like 200%. That's not bad. It's pretty good. On a dollar down move like this. And yeah, I mean this so I've been trading these type of charts that haven't really been working out, especially like on Bank of America. I'll show you guys an example. I placed a trade on Bank of America. Well, I guess it did work out. I just didn't take the trade off, and then I lost money on it. But right here, right here at like 98, as you can see back in December 3rd, it caused problems. We came down after that. And right now we're at like 98 again. It caused problems and now it's coming back down. So there's definitely some resistance here. And as you can see, like up here, like 100, it gapped up, came down. So we had an amazing run, but after being bearish for the last few weeks, I'm not gonna say to go short on it, because if you look, it's kind of the same setup on Bank of America that I did. So I did the same setup on Bank of America. I put a bearish trade on it. Actually, it was up money and then I didn't close it out. So that's my fault. So I was trading this when we gapped up like here in earnings. It was sitting like 29-ish. I had the 28.50 put and the 30 call, because I was expecting it to come back down, because as you can see, it hit 29 up here, came down, hit 29 up here, came down, hit 29 up here, came down, except for this time it hit 29. It started to come down, which I could have took the trade off for a small profit, which I should have definitely done that, conserve my capital. But as you know, you can't, you think that you're going to be right because that position started to work out. So it only worked out briefly. So it worked out, but then it ripped back up to like 29.50. And now when you have a strangle on and it expired, it's going to expire in the middle, you don't make money. So when I had a bearish skewed strangle on, so what that means was my put was closer to in the money than my call. My call was just for protection, and we just never breached it. And Bank of America, it's a slower moving stock because it's like a low price stock. I mean, yes, it moved 50 cents today, which is $1.72, but that's not really like that much, for your strikes. I mean, yes, they have 50 cent white. What were these going for today? Yeah, I mean, these were up like 40% or so. So up 160, 67%. So not ginormous, not ginormous. Same thing happened to me with Starbucks. Yeah, William. Yeah, I actually didn't trade Starbucks. But you could say that's similar up here, like 68. It hasn't broken through yet, but you could say the same thing. Like, okay, we're at like 68 here. Last couple times it hit 68, came back down. If it hits 68 here, is it going to come back down? Just saying. So I think right now we're in the market. A lot of these charts are very similar. Microsoft I trade. I think Microsoft. Microsoft is too choppy to tell. Looks like it has more resistance up here at like 112. So probably should have been long Microsoft to like the 112 area and then try to short it. But I had a neutral position on Microsoft and they just chomped that. As you can see, I had a neutral position and it just went sideways the last few days. So that's why that position got chopped down. So, it happens. But like the main thing that we're going to take away this weekend is we'll really focus on what the winning trades were. We'll focus on what the losing trades were, and just adapt for the market that we're in right now. And that's all you can do. But at the end of the day, we got to make a change. Looking into next week, what I have on, I do have a Tesla position on. Yeah, Microsoft earnings next Tuesday. Yeah, next week's going to be busy, so you got to be very careful. That's why I'm not going in. I'm not holding a lot of things. Right now, the only thing I have on for next week is Tesla and PCG. Tesla, I have calls on. If we're looking here, Tesla's been struggling, but it usually wants to run a little bit before earnings. And if you haven't traded Tesla, if you've never traded Tesla before, people are like questioning me what I do on Tesla, but Tesla's been a stock that I've traded a lot, has been very good to me over the last few years. RJ, I've called. What's up, Josh? My major regret was not shorting it at 380, but as you can see here, it does have some predictable patterns here down in like the 250, 245 area. Has some supports, bounced up big, and people are like, well, why would you be bullish on it after dropping like 50 points, and is it going to make in time? One, I'm trading pre-earnings. This is a pre-earnings trade, so I'm not looking for it to make I'm not looking for it to get to my strike, right? I don't know if looked like something was freezing up. I'm not looking forward to get. I'm looking forward to get to the 320, 330 area. And as you guys can see, like Tesla makes some crazy moves. As it's gone down, the down move, yes, it's made like, it's gone down like $50, $60 in a day. But as you can see back here, it's made like $50 back in 2 days or even like a day. Here, this was earnings. It went from 300 up to 350. And that's why, I don't like to hold through earnings, because even though I have the 375 calls, you don't want to, if you're not in the money, you're going to get crushed. And if you're at the money, you're going to get crushed anyway. So that's why I don't want to hold through earnings. So I'm looking forward to come back up to like 320, 330, which it's almost at 300. It doesn't seem unreasonable. It did touch 279 yesterday, and it's already at 297. So in 2 days, it's almost run. It's ran $20 almost. It could easily go to 310, 320, and then I'll take the position off, and then after earnings, I'll trade it again. But that's really what I'm looking at. And as you can see here on the short side, there's definite resistance here, and multi-year resistance too, at the 380 area. So if you're looking up here at 380, back here in 2017, up here, fall, up here, fell, up here in 2018 we fell, same here. So I mean, it's a multi-year resistance. So that's why when it gets up to here again, most likely short. But you got to be careful, because Tesla has a lot of, I think, good catalysts right now, even though they're facing some bad press. So what do you think about oil? I haven't looked at oil in a while, but seems to be moving pretty slow. OIH. Yeah, I mean, there's some volatility here. The only thing I would say is that not a whole lot of people trade. I mean, there's like no volume on the calls, no volume on the puts. So actually, all day on the puts, there's only 9 people, like 15 people that traded these. So you gotta be careful about that. Typically you don't want to trade options that have 8 volume, 1 volume, or even 100 volume. What do you got? Got an email from Robinhood. That's the limit order to buy the RID call you're referring to. Limit order will only execute if there's a buyer or seller willing to trade at the specified price. Your order has not filled because there's not a seller available to meet your price. Since your order is not filled, you're not. Yeah, looks like you're trading. So Rite Aid, you had. Yeah, Rite Aid. Rite Aid. That's kind of what you got to be careful about. There's no volume there either. So CGC. So Vitality. So CGC. So it was another mistake I made. Yesterday I was day trading CGC. So we'll go into CGC's chart. I had the 44 put yesterday, and it looking like it was going to come down, and it did. Again, made another mistake this week. I should have took the position off for a small profit. And if I was going to hold overnight, which I did, I should have bought a call to protect myself. As you guys know, CGC had an analyst upgrade and ran $9. Ran 9%. Sorry, ran $4. So if I had a call to protect myself, definitely would have balanced out my put. And I'm big about balancing my positions out, and I just didn't do it. Like this week, I just didn't perform. Like if you look at these are up 1,500%. So even if I bought, let's say it was at like 44. Let's see, what was it going for yesterday? Let's see the 45. The 45. Let's look at this real quick. So I had the 44 put. If I bought I probably wouldn't have bought that one. Which one would I have bought? I would have bought the, I probably would have bought 46, I think. I probably would have bought 46 for protection. So if I'm bearish, I'm not going to pay a whole lot. So yeah, I would have bought this one. I would have bought this one yesterday at like 11 cents. Actually, how much was the 40? How much was the 45 going for? Let's see. I wouldn't have spent more than like 20. Let's see here. How much was this going for? I'm on the wrong chart here. Okay, actually probably would have bought the 40 because these were going for like 25 cents. So I actually probably would have bought the 45. So I should have bought, looking at this trade, I should have bought the 44. So I paid 97 cents for the 44 put, and I was up money on it, and I should have closed it out. And then if I was going to swing trade this, I should have bought a call to protect myself, because even with that, as you guys could have seen here, I would have made my money back and then double some. So it would have cost me, let's say I didn't get the best price. So I bought 97 cents, and let's say I bought it towards the end of the day for like 40 cents down here. And then even if I sold it at open for like $2, $2.50, I would have only had like 140 invested, 130 invested. And let's say I sold it for like $2, $2.50. You know, I would have made double my money. Instead, it gapped up and I lost the 97 bucks. You know, so we made some mistakes this week. Who got screwed on taxes? I'm in Chicago, so we pay a lot here too, man. I heard gold made it over 1,300. Do you think it might cause ripples? Yeah, and that's the thing. Gold at 1,300. That's the thing, is like other precious metals and stuff are going higher, and the market's going higher. Normally, like, you wouldn't think that would be the case. You gotta be careful. We're probably gonna after I got squeezed out short, we're probably gonna drop like a rock now. I assure you, I'm really here, not somewhere else. Do you report taxes by yourself? What service do you report? TurboTax only allows 500%. So I use RJ. I use TurboTax, and I don't know about the 500 trades per year, because I've imported a lot through a lot of different brokerages. I've imported through Robinhood. I've imported through Tastyworks. I've imported through Thinkorswim. I've imported through E-Trade. You know, so if you're a Robinhood trader or a Tastyworks trader, they use Apex Clearing. So they use Apex Clearing, and you'll get a statement from Apex in the mail or digital if you're signed up with them with your account number. And what you can do, TurboTax, I should do a video on this, but TurboTax API, they don't have something with Robinhood, they don't have something with Tastyworks, but they do with Apex. So Apex allows you to import your TurboTax allows you to import your trades if you have a Apex account, and you do, but you may not know you do. So you can just go to Apex. Let me pull it up here. Apex Clearing. I totally botched this. So what you'll do if you're a Robinhood or Tastyworks trader is you'll go to Apex Clearing right here, and you can go log in and or create an account, and you might need your account number and stuff like that. You can always give them a call. They have I don't know if the sales number is the right number, but probably not. So maybe not. But basically, if you'll get a statement from Apex for Robinhood and for Tastyworks. You could take that account number and register here, and then you can provide TurboTax your Apex login to import those trades. A lot of people don't know that, but it works great. Like a lot of the brokerages, a lot of these like Robinhood or Tastyworks, they don't do their own clearing. they use somebody else, and in this case, it's Apex. But it definitely will help you out, because you'll go, like when you go to TurboTax to sign in, it'll say, hey, connect your account. You can search, you can search your bank. Like if you're big with Bank of America or Chase, you can connect all those accounts. And then if you'll see TD Ameritrade, you can sign into that. And then you search Robinhood and nothing will come up. But then I found that if you create an account with Apex, they'll import all your trades. So little tip there for your TurboTax. Otherwise, you got to like import stuff through a spreadsheet and stuff. It's terrible, and it's not. If you guys imported trades through TD Ameritrade and all that stuff, it literally takes like 30 minutes. Yeah, Robinhood stopped, but yeah, I'm just saying they stopped like mid-year. You'll still be able to import those Apex trades. They'll still be able to do that. I don't have any trades on Robinhood after they changed, so we got about 10 minutes left on the stream. What do you guys think? Any stocks you want to look at? Any questions? But CGC, I mean, if we can get back up to here, I'm not saying I'm going to be the first one to short it, but I've been starting to trade CGC a little bit just because it moves a lot. The options are liquid, and the options aren't overpriced like on like Tilray and Cron. What are the advantages of using a Roth IRA to kind of trade with? Can you still make withdrawals from it? I mean, yes, you can make withdrawals, but you'll get taxed. As you guys know, if any trades that you make for profit are taxed, the small what is it called? The small short-term gains tax. Sorry, brain fart there for a second. The short-term gains tax. You're subject to there's two different taxes when it comes to investing. There's the long-term gain tax and there's the short-term gain tax. And options trading, we're most likely under the short-term gain tax because you only qualify for the long-term gain tax is if you hold something for over a year. So if you hold stock for more than a year and you sell it for a profit, you will be taxed at the long-term gain tax rate. If you most likely, if you're trading options, you're most likely going to be taxed at the short-term gains tax rate because we mostly don't hold for a whole year. I mean, you could buy stuff for like years out if you wanted to, but most options traders here don't. So most options, you're gonna be taxed. So when you have a Roth account or an IRA, any type, if you're trading from a retirement account, you won't be taxed on that until you make your withdrawal or as you get older. Investor versus trader. No, Isaac, short-term gains applies to anybody investing or trading in the market. So whether you're investing in stock and you buy Apple, if you buy Apple as an investor and you sell it 6 months later, you're taxed at the short-term gains rate. If you buy Apple stock and you sell it a year later, more than a year later, you're taxed at the long-term rate. So basically, you ask like why is there a long term and a short term tax rate? And the reason for it is because the government wants you to keep your money in the market. So they're saying they're rewarding people that keep their money in the market long term for more than a year. So they're rewarding people by charging them less tax. Like the short term tax rate is 30%. The long-term tax is 15%, so it's cut in half. So the government, as you guys know, like anything financial, most things that are financial are structured in a way to keep your money in there. If you guys haven't noticed that, most things like mortgages, 401ks, the accounts you open up for your kids for college, I forget what those are called. The tax structure, all this is set up to keep your money in the market. That's how it works, and that's how they want it to work. And those are the product. Like we're not the ones making the products; they made the products for us. Like we're the consumer, so they're making these things up. So the government is rewarding you to keep your money in. And that's just the way it is. And you say, well, that's not fair, but that's just what it is. You know, you don't make the tax laws. I don't make the tax laws. And the way, I mean, it's kind of like the same with the PDT. People say, well, the PDT rule isn't fair, and it's, you know, it's definitely not. Like I've talked about this before, is, you know, they don't tell me how many times I can go to the casino. They don't care about that, but all of a sudden they care how much money I invest in the market. They said, oh, you know, if they really cared, they would have said, hey man, if you don't have 25K, don't come into this casino. And if you do, you can only do one gamble. You can only make one bet, right, per day. And if that's the case, people would save a lot more money because people are addicted to gambling and stuff like that. But they said, oh, you know, we're gonna make the PDT rule to protect the small investors from losing all their money. They don't care. They don't care about that. If they really cared, they would put. Well, you guys get the point. Kit, thank you. Yeah, if this video has been of value to you, hit the like button. If it not been of value to you, hit the dislike button. We do have one dislike in here. Thank you so much. Garrett's right. Whatever. If you're trading options in a retirement account, whatever type of account that is, the same rules apply. Yeah, I mean, we'll be honest with you. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The way the government is structured, and the way tax laws structured, and the way the markets are, and the products they choose, they're made to take money from individuals like us. That's just the way it is. That's why it's so hard to make money in the market. Like people are like, oh, it's so easy, I could do this. And yeah, there's times that it's easy to make money in the market, but anybody that says, oh, it's so easy, or yeah, why you're so stupid, you lost 2K this week, you know, you're dumb, you know, it is what it is, you know. And if it were easy, if it were so easy, every single person that I know that trades would be filthy rich, you know. And that's not the case, because it's designed to it's not designed to do that. And yes, you can get rich in the market. Yes, you can make a lot of money in the market. Yes, you could be a millionaire by investing, but you have to understand what that really takes. Easy, Richard, Eamon, Kit, man, thanks again for the donations. It really means a lot. I think I missed a comment from Tobin. Can you throw out a couple of stocks you were shorting over the next month? So Tobin, if you missed part of my stream when I was kind of ranting about my trades this week, I've been short. I've been short for the whole month of January pretty much, and it has not really paid out. So I'm not looking to go in and short anything. I mean, I guess what I am short right now is PCG. So I am short PCG as of close today. I have the 11 put for next week. But beyond that, I'll talk about it on my stream what I find out. I'm going to reevaluate every single trade I did in January, focus on my winners, see what my losers were, and adapt my strategy, come back strong. Usually when I have a big red week, I make double or triple within the next few weeks. So hoping that's the case. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But usually that's what happens. Like if I lose $1,000, I'll come back and make $2,000 pretty quickly. It's just the way it is. Isaac, anyone selling premium on anything? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. If people that were selling premium against me this week made $2,000, so congrats. Should have sold premium on my positions. Whew. I feel like I've been talking a lot this stream. My voice is getting to me. Yeah, PCG is down 11.59. Hopefully on PCG on Monday we get a nice gap down to like 10 or 9. That would be nice. That would be nice. Get some money back. So, anyways, I mean, we're coming up on an hour here, guys. Definitely appreciate you guys. This stream was probably more for me than for you. Hopefully, you guys got something out of it. I just wanted to kind of highlight what I do when I have a big red week. What do I do Do I just take it? Do I adjust? Do I adapt? And I wanted to provide some insight on what that looks like from my perspective, and hopefully you get some takeaways from it. If not, that's fine too. But I definitely appreciate you guys for watching. Josh, you have a good one. Easy. Vitaly loaded the CHK calls. Yeah, I generally don't trade stocks under $10. So, steak and beer time. Agreed. Oh yeah, Mark. Not worried about it. Not worried about it. We'll push through. We always do. I've been in way worse places than this and come back stronger than ever. So like, if you have a red week, it's not going to be the end of the world. You know, it may seem because you don't see what the end is like, but once you get there, you're like, oh well, I'm glad that happened. You know. So, anyways, you guys have a good weekend. Try to relax, work on your trades. If you lost the last couple weeks, focus, adapt, go through your trades, find your winners, see what you did right, see what you did wrong, and adapt. You guys have a great weekend.